Hey, thanks for watching today. We have a very timely video for over-the-counter tax liens in Florida. And I say timely because these lists are being released right now on a daily basis, and there's a great opportunity to buy these and get the first pick at the tax liens that are coming out. So for today's examples, we'll be using Orange County, Florida, but these principles and what we're talking about really applies to any county in Florida. So let's jump in here. Quick, just an overview. We've done this in other videos, but the life cycle for a Florida tax lien and tax deed, just as a reminder, when a property goes tax delinquent, it goes to a tax lien auction at the end of May or the very beginning of June, and depending on the county, where they issue a tax lien. It starts off at 18%, but that interest rate is bid down at the auction, and these liens have a 2-year redemption before they go to the tax deed auction. So right now what we're talking about are the leftovers in this red box around June, July, which is right now. You would buy these at the full 18% and not have a bid down aspect of these. And you'd purchase these from the county or whoever the county has selected to sell through. We'll get into that. And then as a reminder, after 2 years, these would go to a tax deed auction and get sold again where they're purchased basically from the county at a tax auction. Now remember, if you're buying these tax liens, you do not have a direct path to a tax deed. You can hold that tax lien for 2 years, but anybody can buy the property at the tax deed auction. So it's one way that Florida is a little bit unique. So don't think when you're buying a tax lien that you're going to have some type of exclusive right to the property at all. You're just buying a lien on the property. So after the tax deed auctions, you end up at over-the-counter tax deeds, which are very rare. We'll get into that too, but some properties make it all the way through this life cycle, and they become purchased from the county as lands available. But remember, we are here at the over-the-counter tax liens being released daily right now. Today is June 27th, 2023. So we're talking about just timely things happening in the moment. We've gone over this in other videos too, but as a reminder, when we talk about tax lien auctions, there's like hundreds of thousands of these tax liens, sometimes over 1 million in a year, that go to auction or at least get advertised for auction. So the scale is hundreds of thousands when we talk about the tax liens going to auction. And then when you're talking about over-the-counter tax liens, this is in the scale of like tens of thousands every year. And furthermore, the tax deed auctions, you'll get thousands of properties every year go to tax deed auction. And then lastly, those over-the-counter tax deeds at the very bottom, there's just hundreds of those. So again, we're talking about what's in this red box, the over-the-counter tax liens. There's tens of thousands of these being released right now. So you probably want to know how many are available in Florida, and frankly, this how many question, it's a trick question because the answer is different today than it was yesterday, than it will be tomorrow. This number changes daily. But as of right now, there are over 100,000 over-the-counter tax liens available in Florida across all the counties. And that means liens from over 30,000 properties. And the reason we have 100,000 liens on 30,000 properties is because there are multiple liens per property in many cases. Some of these counties hold liens for many years, and so you get that compounding factor where there's fewer properties than liens. So the total face value of all the tax liens available right now, if you were to buy every one of them, is $34 million. So if you have $34 million, then you can buy all of the over-the-counter tax liens today. Now tomorrow there'll be new ones, so you'll have to keep shopping. But the total property value of all the over-the-counter tax liens, that property value is $2.46 billion. So these liens are attached to $2.46 billion in property value. And we are using Orange County as our example. So we're going to talk about, in 2023, Orange County advertised 14,861 liens. Before the auction, 1,505 redeemed early, so about 13,356 actually went to the auction, and about 11,400 sold, which means there are 1,953 left over on individual, and that's actually the property count, if I remember right. So you have roughly 2,000 to shop with. So now that we know what these liens are worth, how many there are, how do we buy these things? So we'll go into some specific detail in a minute here, but I want to start with this innocuous email that we received. And Florida has multiple providers, I guess you would call them, or sources, that are these third-party companies that sell over-the-counter tax liens for them. Lien Hub is one of them. There's a few other smaller ones, but Real Tax Lien, which is also known as Real Auction, is the company at realauction.com. They're the ones that hold Orange County's over-the-counter tax liens. So we received this email saying, hey, on the 27th at 10 a.m., which is today, we'll let you preview the list of over-the-counter county-held tax certificates. So that's the same thing as over-the-counter as county-held. Basically, that's on Tuesday, we get the preview. On Wednesday, they will go for sale. There's a one-day turnaround to find out what you want. So if you're watching this video tonight on the 27th, you need to get on the stick, because at 10 a.m. tomorrow Eastern, these liens will go on sale. First come, first served basis at 18% interest rate. Remember, if you bought at auction, that interest rate gets bid down by other investors. But when you buy unsold county-held liens, they're at full 18%. So you can probably see the appeal of why people tend to buy these very quickly as soon as they hit the market. So let's get into some real-world examples here and go through the actual steps and how to buy. I'm starting off with realauction.com. You can see that. They do many states. You click on clients in the top right, and we're looking at tax liens, so we're going to click this Real Tax Lien button. And then you can see different states, but all we care about today is Florida. So we're going to select Florida from the client filters and click Submit. Now we're looking at the different counties. You see Columbia, they will open their county held site on July 3rd. So, you know, every day, every week now, you're going to have some of these released. Some of them are already out there. Orange County here is June 27th, the one we've been talking about. And basically, they have a special website just for Orange County, and I'll include these links in the YouTube description for the video. But you'll notice there's a login in the top left and several things going on on the page. First thing you really need to do is create an account with Real Auction if you don't already have one. And you need to do this sooner than later, because they're going to require you to go through several forms and steps and proof. You have to do a W-9 form, and then you will also have to attach your banking or checking information and have it ready to go for you to buy. So you really need to do a little bit of legwork in advance to be ready to buy these. And once you have the login and logged in, you can actually see the properties, and you can even see the batches. You'll notice there are almost a couple thousand in this 2023 batch, and here are the actual properties. They're not available to select yet on the right side, but they will be tomorrow. Okay, so looking at this, you can see we have a couple thousand records to get through. It would take a long time, probably longer than tonight, to get through all these manually. So let's talk about a faster way to do this. This is where we get into Parcel Fair, which is what this whole YouTube channel is about. We're going to show you how to do this quickly, and essentially how you can compete as an individual investor and win these things against maybe companies trying to buy these in bulk. You basically have the advantage by doing this. Right now I'm looking at the whole state of Florida, and I can see these green shapes on the map. Those are the available over-the-counter tax liens right now. You see Jacksonville, and what I'm doing is I have a search filter here set for all the counties in Florida. I've chosen over-the-counter as my inventory type, so I'm ignoring auctions. And I've chosen liens only to ignore deeds or anything else. And then that's the only criteria I've set. So I'm looking at the entire state right now. And you can see all over from the Panhandle, coastal areas, there are over-the-counter liens available, first come, first served basis, full 18% right now. Tens of thousands of these, and that's safe to say for the next few weeks at least, before they all get bought up. People are buying these very quickly. So we talked about we're really looking at Orange County. I'm going to change my to the map backdrop. You can see the outline of Orange County Of course, you know Orlando is famous city in Orange County. And now let's take those search filters, and we're going to keep on Florida here, but we're going to switch over to just Orange County. So this is going to take us immediately from over 29,000 parcels, and now we're down to 1,969 parcels. We just filtered out a ton of properties to get down to what we're looking for. And when we navigate a map like this, let's just go back to satellite. There's a lot of green here, and these green properties are the ones we're looking at. These are over-the-counter tax liens. So you can click and get a little preview of some of these, get an idea of what's going on there, and take a peek at the total value. Is land only, land and buildings. So we're just poking around, trying to get an idea for what's here. Let's talk about areas too, because again, you might have a certain neighborhood or area you're interested in. Maybe you are wanting to see winter garden. So you'll notice at the top of the screen on Google, this little Google Places drop down, I've typed winter garden Florida, and I'm going to click on that. And basically it's just going to take me to that spot on the map. It didn't rerun a search, it didn't do anything else. It just takes me to that location on the map. And we'll have a little fun with it. Let's go to Disney World. So there it is. You can click on that. Disney World's just down the street. It looks like they paid their taxes, so you may have to look for something close by, like this property off. It looks like you're buying a chunk of lake near Disney World. And then, for fun, let's go to Universal Studios. We're just jumping around the map to anywhere we can think of, and this is how you can quickly navigate. Looks like Universal paid their taxes too. Closest property is probably up here. Some nice house on a lake where that tax lien is available. So that gives you an idea of how you might jump around. And let's go back to a place like let's do Winter Park. I get this confused, Winter Park and Winter Garden, but both areas are nice suburban areas. Winter Park, you can see some beautiful lakes here, and frankly, there's properties off water. You'll see these look like apartment complexes maybe, and then you'll see some waterfront properties that are people are always looking for these, and here you actually have them. There's another one right here. So this one has a dock, and we can get a nice satellite view of the property, and we'll even open this one up and take a detailed look at it real quick. So we can see it's a 2023 tax lien. There's one tax lien available. We can see the details of it here, the certificate number and the amount. One of the complaints I hear a lot in Florida is that a lot of the tax liens are usually cheap, and I would say that's true on vacant land, vacant lots. But when there's a house like this, that's a $5,000 is non-trivial. That's good money to be tied up at 18%. So again, we're just looking at this house. We have a 1,500 square foot, and we've seen a street view and a satellite view. And at the bottom here, I can actually go to the Orange County appraiser or the tax collector if I want to learn more about this property. But right now, let's talk about how do I buy this. So you'll see in the purchase options this big green button that says Purchase Online, Orange County Held Certificates. So county held, remember, those are over-the-counter lien certificates. If we click on that, we've got some detailed instructions. And remember, every county is going to use a different website. Sometimes they're real auction websites, sometimes it's Lien Hub, something or other ones. This one is real auction, and what we've done is we have this referencing this account number. It's a parcel number in this case. I'm going to click this blue copy button, which puts that number on my computer's clipboard. It is now copied, and I'm going to follow these instructions, which say I'm going to basically click this green button, and I'm going to go select items, and after I've searched for it, so let's go to that page. And if I'm following the instructions, I'm going to go to this parcel ID field, and I'm pasting in what Parcel Fair put on my clipboard here, which was that parcel number. Now I click search, and you'll see this is the property, certificate number, tax year, certificate, all the information. And when this site opens up, there will be options to buy now and select if I want to buy many. So that's going to change tomorrow. You will actually have the option to buy these. So from here, I can actually click a couple things. I'm going to click on the number here. And you'll notice there's a little more detailed information. Most of this is already on Parcel Fair. We can even see, just for comparison's sake, the map. We're talking about this property on the lake here and the certificate history. So That's kind of cool that we can get all that information, but you know, the way we found this property so quickly was by using the purchase instructions on Parcel Fair to filter down and then take that number over to real auction. So that gives you a quick top to bottom on one property. So let's just keep going. So back to the map, and you know, there are a lot of suburban areas, really nice in the lake areas like I just showed you, and then you can move into the city, like near the downtown, and find plenty of options here too. There's buildings that are kind of larger, maybe dense residential like this one, and you're typically going to find individual units like this one. You'll notice 21 individual units, which are 21 individual liens, all inside of that one building. And you can see unit 2A3, 6S8. These are all different units, different owners, different liens that you're buying. So let's click on the first one and take a look at what is available here. Actually, this one, that unit is currently not available. But what we're seeing is in the address, we see unit 2A3, and we can see this a condominium. So that's just an example. If you're shopping in some of these multi-unit buildings, you might see something like that where it's got options to buy different liens. So beyond that, you know, you can spend a lot of time exploring this map. There's outlying areas, undeveloped lots, areas like this, and Florida's going through so much growth right now that these could even be pretty popular. And you'll see just loads of these undeveloped lots. Just clicking through so you can have an idea of what we're looking at here. And I think a lot of these are the ones that people are going to complain about the tax liens being very cheap. So if you bought the lien on this, you're only tying up $970, for example. That's not really a bad thing, except for the fact that if you have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest, you're going to have to buy a lot of tax liens to tie up all that money, which means you're going to have a lot of paperwork for each individual property to keep track of. So it could be very appealing to tie up larger amounts of money. But that's just another way to invest in Florida. You have the vacant lots that are getting developed. Here's another pocket up here of vacant lots that could be developed soon or not. Again, with the growth going on in Florida, it wouldn't be surprising to see these areas get developed. And again, I could just show you the map all day, so we're going to go ahead and stop it there and move on to some individual properties that I pre-selected just to kind of show you some of the pieces and parts of what are here. I started off with a basic residential property with $5,000 owed, and it's on a small tenth of an acre roughly lot. And again, we're just looking through, and if you are interested in this property, you would see those instructions again. So you can go to the search, copy the number, find the property, and then buy the certificate. Again, June 28th, tomorrow, is the day that will open up. So a good example of just a kind of your standard residential house worth, around $300,000. So switching gears, here's a property worth almost $10 million with $166,000 owed, and you basically can just get an idea of what a larger tax lien would look like. Also for a variety, it's just a much different type of investment there. This one it looks like a commercial building, and you would have a $16,000 lien on this one, and it's valued around $1 million. Zipping through here, here's another residential on the lower end. I wanted to show you this one because the lien on this one is extremely cheap, and there are 3 available. You'll notice this box says 3 tax liens available now. So we can see that for each year we have a different lien, different amount we could purchase, which means if we go to the county held certificates, copy the parcel number, and then we go over to the website to do the search again. Let's see how we search. We go here. That parcel ID, we should see 3 liens, and we do. So again, this is one property with 3 liens on it that you could buy from the county website here on Real Auction. So that's an interesting find that we're looking at a property with multiple liens. Could be a strategy that you want to do is to buy multiple liens and push this to a deed auction quicker if you wanted to. Next up, this is a car dealership of all things. It's worth over $1 million and $18,000 in taxes. So I think in this one, the takeaway is that assuming the car dealership is there, there's a high chance they're going to redeem. So what you want to do is tie up $18,000 as quickly as you can and start accruing that 18% interest. And you should also look into Florida's flat 5% penalty interest as well. In the event that they redeem in the first year, you actually have a little bit extra interest rate there to play with. Next up, this one is a strange Google Street View. Is zoomed way in, but it's this building. It's 3A. It looks like a Unit 3A, CU3A. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but in this building, it's one unit that has a $20,000 tax lien on it. So this is one of those multi-unit condominiums that you could take a look at investing in. 2,500 square foot condo. Next up is another, it looks like a storefront type of property, commercial, and 5,500 square feet. There's a $34,000 lien available on this for a $2 million property, and it's got some decent acreage. It looks like probably a desirable street. We'll click on the panorama view and see if we can scout out a little bit more about this. In fact, let's just drive our little Google car out of the parking lot so we can actually see what we're dealing with here. Oh, it looks like a barbecue restaurant. Okay. And going out on the road, we can see this is a nice looking area with even a little bit of traffic, not much. And so this is probably a highly desirable location and a corner lot with a barbecue restaurant there. My gut tells me there's a high chance of redemption, but again, if you can tie up money quickly and get a few months out of it, that's an 18% rate you're accruing with that 5% penalty. It could be a great way to spend $34,000 and make some interest on it. This one I just had to show you is one of the strangest ones I've ever seen. It's some type of theme park amusement looking thing. I'm going to click on the panorama view and see if we can tell more about it. Maybe zip line platforms, obstacle course, just something very odd. Certainly never seen a tax lien quite like this one. In fact, it might even be owned by, let's see, it's owned by an LLC, so it's not a city park or county. But that was a strange one to see, a $23,000 lien on that $1 million property as well. So again, some of these you could type a lot of money for high interest very quickly. And one more property here. This is an auto body collision looking place, and you could get $20,000 lien on it. So again, here's the lien details, certificate number, and we would buy this exactly the same way as the other ones. We just click on purchase online and we follow these instructions. Tomorrow that will be open for you to buy from. So this is an outstanding opportunity for you to be able to get the first crack at these tax liens. And while we're talking about how to get the competitive advantage on this, let's show you some more ways to save time before we close out. I'm back to the search filters. We have Orange County selected. We're looking at over-the-counter properties that are liens only. Let's say we want to look at improvements only. That means only properties that have structures. And so let's click go on that and see our number go down to 1,200 parcels now. And let's say, what if we only want to see properties with at least 2 liens available? So remember, that means they have at least 2 liens now that you could buy, maybe 3, 4, 5, who knows. And we're going to filter that down to 23 parcels. And remember, we're looking at houses only, so let's take that off and look at everything with 2 liens. And now there's 24 parcels. So not many, but we can take a look over here on the right side and see there could be some great opportunities here to buy multiple liens on a property and push it to a deed auction pretty quickly, or push it to a redemption depending on what the situation is. And if we want to see this on the map, we just click find on map and it takes us right to the property. It's a very small unit inside of that building. This one as well, you can see this one's actually a larger one. So that's a way you could save time and really cut down the number of properties you're looking for. We've tried to make search filters that would help you on different strategies. If you want to see occupied or vacant, if you want to see out-of-town owners, and if you wanted to hit like a minimum valuation of like $50,000, you can do that. Let's take a look at that and see. In fact, let's raise it to $200,000. That means that the value of the property per the county valuation is more than $200,000. Let's just see what that brings us back. So there's 720 of those. Let's go with the, let's do out-of-state owners. Let's see if that has any results. Oh, actually, a lot of them are out-of-state owners. That kind of, maybe that's a Florida dynamic that owners are out-of-state a lot. So that just gives you an idea of how you can quickly go through these 2,000 properties for Orange County and apply that same type of search to any county in Florida that you want to buy over-the-counter tax liens for. So best of luck if you're trying to buy these. Hopefully you get a chance to watch this video first and get some ideas on how you can really get to the point and buy these very efficiently. So thanks again for watching, and please subscribe to the channel. We put these videos out about almost once a week or so, and you'll get notified when new videos come out, so you can keep in touch with what's going on at Parcel Fair and what new markets we're trying to work within and learn about. Have a great day.